Hey friends, how's it going? Alex Richardson here of Full Time Wedding Pro, and have a special guest here with us today, giving us a little insight on his journey working with us throughout the past previous months here. And so Abraham Mercado joined us. I think when was it? Was it like last November or something like that, or a little
Just
bit?
about, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. And so he's come across and has been killing it. And so we're super excited to share his story and hopefully connect with some of you guys out there that might feel like you're kind of stuck or in the same, in a position where you don't really know what to do next in business. Hopefully, this is a little inspiration. I got some cool questions for him. And so, why don't we get started? So, welcome, Abraham. What's happening, man?
What's up,
Glad to have
Alex?
you
Thanks
on
for
here.
having me.
It's fun seeing you on the Win channel there. Just always like, but here's the thing though, you're winning because you bust your butt. It's not
I have been.
just like, hey, let me, I'm just winning all of a sudden. But you work hard, you've worked on the craft, you've followed us as far as like following the program and everything that's lined
Yeah.
out for you. And so you've done it well. So congrats, man. So super happy to have you,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much,
Nice,
Alex.
nice. So let's start off with some questions, man. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Awesome. Well, my name is Abraham Mercado, as you mentioned. I live in Miami. I'm a wedding videographer. And I absolutely love what I do in terms of documenting people's most important day of their lives and something that creating something that they can rewatch for many, many years to come. So I've been in business I started my company 9 years ago. I actually started it because I wanted to get married. So interestingly enough, I met my wife and I was an editor at a different company. And I said, if I stay here with this situation, I won't be able to marry her. And I left. I created my company, Lotus 7 Films. And thank God it's been great. So,
That's awesome, man. Cool, cool. And
yeah.
so are you traveling at all yet or just kind of sticking around Miami, keeping it local?
So because I have, 3 young kids, I know my wife takes on so many sacrifices when I have to go shoot a wedding on a Saturday or on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So for me, I try to focus my brand mostly on shooting local. Of course,
Mhm.
I am available to travel, a few times a year if needed. But the way that I market myself, brides and couples, is that I'm local to Miami,
Yeah.
and so because every time I have to leave, if I have to fly out or something like that, it's a few days, right? You have to fly in the day before, you have to shoot the
Right.
wedding. Many times you have to shoot the day after the wedding. They do a
Mhm.
trash to dress session or something like that, which are awesome, but it takes longer, right, to come back. So um, I miss enough as it is, as a
Yeah.
wedding videographer of my kid's life, and I try you know, to go shoot the wedding, come back home, and that's my kids. So
I totally get you. I'm crossing that bridge personally right now. So
yeah,
I travel a lot, but it
yeah,
is
I
so
know
much work, dude. So when it's a
for
local, it's
sure.
like, ah, this is such a relief. It's so cool. I mean, I love traveling too, but yeah, staying
Yeah,
away from the kids and stuff, it's kind of tough.
hard,
That's cool. Yeah. So you've been doing this for
especially with
9 years.
3 kids.
Yeah, three kids. I can't imagine. I only have two.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
for
Cool.
sure.
And so you've been doing this for 9 years. And you
Yeah.
started off as a videographer. Do you do photography as well, or thinking about it, or?
So I started as a videographer because in college I took a class called video production, and I absolutely fell in love with the whole
Yep.
process of script writing, of getting the actors. I created like a short film for that class.
Yep.
So I used a lot of my teammates. I used to play football in college, so I used my teammates to create the short film. If you look back at it now, it's a piece of crap,
Mhm.
But I had loved that whole process of creating, of editing it, of selecting the right music, to draw emotion, so that experience alone, made me fall in love with the whole process of filmmaking
Yeah.
and videography. So so that's why I mostly focus on videography for weddings. I do some photography,
Mhm.
outside of weddings,
Yep.
in terms of like natural light, product photography, some family things like that. But for weddings specifically, it's videography.
That's awesome. And I
Yeah,
kind of asked that question on purpose because
yeah,
um, if I have it correct, you actually create a relationship with someone in our group
right,
that is a photographer, right?
correct, absolutely,
And so tell
exactly.
me about that. What's going on here?
Yeah, so when I first joined the program, and I introduced myself to the group and everything, and I let them know where I'm from and what areas I serve.
Yep.
I received a message from one of the photographers who's very close in my area. Her name is Bailey.
Uh-huh.
Um, introducing herself and saying, hey, maybe we can work together and, hopefully we can make something happen, right? So it actually ended up that she actually referred me to a couple,
Mm.
from that actually, it's actually like a family friend from her. She referred me to the couple. The experience went fantastic. We shot the wedding together. The experience went great. And after that, we started talking about how can we collaborate more together because I strictly do videography, as I mentioned, right?
Hmm.
She
Yep.
only does photography, right?
Yep.
But many times couples come to us and say, hey, do you have photographers to recommend, or do you also do photography? And for her, she was finding the same thing, where people would tell her, do you also offer video? So we started talking about ways that we can collaborate, and we came down with a plan, and we said, look, what's your starting rate? What's my starting rate? Let's put together a package
Mhm.
where couples can now book us together in a sense, right? So we
Mhm.
tell couples, look, you're going to save money by booking us together, by booking both of
Oh, that's
us,
awesome. Yeah.
rather than if you book Bailey with everything that she offers
Mhm.
separately and me with everything that I offer separately.
Mhm.
So it saves them money. And for us, it's great because now we have the ability to say, look, we work very closely with another photographer where we created a joint
Yeah.
package where it saves you money and we work incredibly well together,
Yep.
right? So couples love it because of that as well.
Yep.
Um, but everything, the great thing about this is that everything is still done within our own brands.
Mhm.
So the couple still signs a photography contract with her. They sign a videography contract with me. All the deliverables are done, through our own companies.
Mhm.
And so nothing gets like mixed. We know exactly what I'm responsible for
Yep.
because it's in the contract, it's in the invoice,
Yep.
and everything that she's responsible for. So she knows.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
and that's why it's great. In the past, I did try like a few years ago to kind of just create a photography package
Mhm.
as part of my own company. And what I had found is that many times, the person that was going to do photography is not available for that wedding, right? Let's
Mhm.
say. So now it's a different photographer. So now if I'm
Mhm.
sharing a gallery with a couple, right, where it's like completely different, one experience than the other, then there's not as strong of a brand that's being developed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the challenge back in the day, like a
Mhm.
few years ago
Yeah.
when I tried to actually do this. So that's why for me it was very important
Yeah.
that when I create a joint package with a photographer, that everything is still handled separately within my own brand and within her own brand. So that's
That's
kind of how I
amazing.
like that
So that's a win in itself.
for
You're
sure.
you're providing a solution for some potential clients. They need a
Right.
photographer, or same with Bailey, they need a videographer.
Right.
There's trust because you guys work together. You know each other
Exactly.
from the program itself, and then so it's a win-win for everyone. And
Right.
there's that accountability between each other, and that's so cool. And
Right.
you're not in a business venture together where
Hmm.
so you could stick to your own branded style and she could stick to her own branded style, but
Exactly.
it's based off of a strong vendor relationship and recommendation, and it works beautifully.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
100%. The great thing also is that, for example, we have the two options that we offer,
yeah.
and then anything else that comes up, for example, if a couple wants an add-on that's
Hmm.
strictly for video,
Yeah.
then that's handled separately, right, with with
Hmm.
with myself. Or if they
Yeah.
want a third photographer, whatever, that's handled separately with her, right?
Cool.
So it still gives the couples the flexibility to customize their own, experience with either
Yeah.
photo or video.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why it's also great. And the amazing thing about it is that because she also went through the program, because she also has implemented everything in the program, just like I have,
Yeah.
now we have two machines that are working for us, right?
Totally.
So the leads that are coming in for her may,
Right.
may as well also be my leads,
Yeah.
and vice versa,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So it's
That,
like you're running ads for for your company,
exactly,
but then somebody else is kind of running ads for your company too.
exactly,
In a
exactly,
sense.
exactly.
Yeah, that's badass, dude. I love it. So it's a kind of double dip in there. Nice.
Yeah,
Cool, man. So let's jump into some of the meat and potatoes here. Let's touch points about like where you were before
yeah.
joining us. You've been doing this for a while. What happened, dude, that made you feel like, maybe I should look into some help with somebody? So where were you
Yeah.
before you joined us in business?
So, so before I joined the program, I was really relying on referrals, on planners, really also on some other photographers that would recommend me
Okay.
here and there. But there was no consistency in terms of getting leads or talking with couples, right? Um, Many times I would go like 2 months without getting an inquiry for a wedding,
Whoa.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So which is tough, right? Of course, we all have obligations. We all have expenses and everything that we have to take care of, right? Take care of our families and everything. So
Yeah.
it was really frustrating because 1 month it would be incredible,
Hmm.
where um, where three or four, I would have 3 or 4 inquiries in terms of referrals. But then, like I said, I would go quiet for a few months. So there was no consistency
Okay.
in leads coming in, right?
Sure.
And in the past, about I would say 4 years ago, I actually took a course on running Facebook ads for
Mm.
weddings,
Mhm. Okay.
right? And it was like I'm not going to say it was a very expensive course, but there were a lot of people doing this course,
Yeah.
and it kind of went through like worksheets and
Mm.
things like that, where like you have to fill this out, you have to fill this out, you have to fill this out, and it taught you how to run ads.
Mhm.
Um, and this was before the big AI kind of explosion,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So it didn't really work well.
Mhm.
Um, and then I know we'll get into it, when I joined the program, how things changed in terms of that.
Mhm.
But because of that experience, I wasn't really running, like I didn't really have a system to getting new
Sure.
leads, right?
Yeah.
There was nothing in place where, of course, you have a good experience with a
Mhm.
planner and she'll refer you and she'll say, oh my God, we had a great experience and
Yeah.
I want to refer you to all my couples, and crickets, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that does happen quite a lot. But yeah, I do have a lot of planners that the planners that recommend me, or the other photographers that recommend me. Now it's just like sprinkles, right, on the ice cream or cake.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, oh, beautiful, thank you,
Yeah.
right? But it's not something that's now like needed, where I had nothing coming in, no
Mhm.
leads coming in.
Yeah.
So
Okay. That's cool. And let's be real here for a second. It's
yeah.
not like you jumped in and then it solved all the problems. It's not like you just started running ads and you started getting all the leads right away, right? And there are times when there's a little bit of a dry spell, but
Hmm.
being in our community and learning the frameworks and stuff, do you feel
Right.
like, okay, here's a little bit of a dry spell based on what I've learned, what could I do to get myself out of this hole or
For
get
sure.
myself into a position of success, of progress, of not knowing what to do? So, do you feel like,
Yeah.
since you're in our program, now you kind of know what to do if sometimes
Hmm.
an ad isn't performing? Do you feel like you have enough support in areas like that?
For sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Like you said, things don't happen, overnight, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of courses out there. There's a lot of training out there. There's a lot of free things out there that people can go get, right? But I have to tell you, what I most loved about what I love the most about this program
Mm.
is that it took the time to to tell a videographer or photographer, you need to reflect on who you are and what is your image that you're portraying to the couples. It
Yeah.
wasn't just, here's how you create a meta ads account. Here's how
Yeah.
you create the ads. Here's how
Yeah.
you can upload a video. No,
Yep.
it was, and Peyton says it very clearly.
Mhm.
Go through phase one first. You
Yes.
have to implement phase one,
Yep.
because if you don't implement phase one, it's like someone gifting you a suit.
Yeah.
It might be the most expensive suit in the world, but if it doesn't fit you,
Hasn't been tailored.
what right? What is that
It's not
for?
going to
Like
work.
you won't. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I went through a very rigorous process of making sure, and I watched phase one like 3 times, I have
Of
to tell
course. Yeah.
you.
100%.
Because first, I wanted to know what the material was talking about. Then, when I was actually implementing the changes,
Mhm.
I went through it again to make sure I was doing everything exactly as described.
Yep.
Because if you don't, then what good is spending money on ads when they come to your website? People are lost. People don't
Yeah.
understand who you are, where you are, who you serve. Um, so all that whole process was huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, in the way that it teaches you to respond to leads, right?
Mm.
I would never, I would never text a couple. I have to be honest, ever,
Don't
ever.
give our secrets out now. Just kidding.
You're
Yeah.
right.
No, no, no. Go for it. Yeah.
But I would have a lot of couples that ghosted me, right?
Mhm.
Just from that email reply.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I mean, I would just give out like the package. Okay, thanks for inquiring. Here's what we offer.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
So
you ghost them.
everything changed. Everything
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah. So, and the point is to just learn other processes,
Yeah,
and when you have a big community on what's really
yeah,
working, it's like you have your pulse on the industry of what's working, what's not working, and we all support each other in a way, which is amazing.
for sure.
And so, because things change all the time, right? So,
Right, right,
by
right.
having the pulse on that, it could really help you make the right decisions. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
And it
cool.
was funny because the first time I think that me and you spoke, I
Yeah.
had told you, like, this was like the first week of the program. I had told you,
Okay.
yeah, I've run ads before, and
Yeah.
this is how you feel that. And you're like, forget everything you've learned before
Yeah.
in terms of ads,
Yeah.
because in 2025 and 2024, it's completely
It's
different
different.
than what you learned 3 years
Totally.
ago, right? And that's
100%.
why
Yeah.
it was mind blowing. It was
Yeah.
like, wow,
Hmm.
it really
Yeah.
was.
It's even different. Yeah, it's different from even a year ago. Things are changing
Mhm.
always, which is amazing. Yeah.
Completely.
So as far as like what this has done for you personally, so you came to us, you were in a position where things weren't really working. You came to us, you did the work. Um,
Mhm.
you're in a position now that you feel more comfortable, right? So what's it doing for you personally outside of business?
So outside of business, I also do a lot of corporate work, right?
Hmm.
But also with corporate work, there are slow months as well, right?
Okay.
So what it's really helped me with is, like I said before, getting those consistent leads that are coming
Hmm.
in how I'm interacting with those leads,
Yeah.
and of course, getting selling more weddings. I mean,
Yeah.
for the last 3 months, I'm averaging 6 weddings sold per month, right?
Nice.
Where that was like a dream, a
Yeah.
year ago, right?
Okay.
A year ago, I would book maybe one per month, maybe two if it was like really, I
Hmm.
got some inquiries in from,
Yep.
from planners, but I was always relying on others to recommend me,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So now what it's really done for me is now I'm responsible for getting
Yeah.
those leads in to then sell
Gotcha.
them, right? So,
Yeah. Sure.
and of course, personally, the more bookings that come in, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out, but like the more bookings that come in, the more money that is in our pocket that we can take care of our family, and that's
Yeah.
everything that we want. So
So personally, yeah, has it
yeah,
changed a lot? Has the dynamics changed in your
yeah,
family as far as like
for sure.
doing the things that you want to do, maybe saving a little extra money for college or whatever, or staying in Colombia for 6 weeks during the summer? You
This
know?
is sort of because,
Yeah.
part of when I started the course, and it was like sent from heaven, I have to tell you, because of course each couple, right, and each marriage has its struggles in terms of financially and things like that. So like when I started the course, actually, my wife now started to actually struggle where with her job, right? So like for the
Mm,
past year, it's been a very difficult, you know, because of that, but because of the course, we've been able to actually pay expenses and pay for
yep.
things like that. So like we would be in a completely different situation if it like both our businesses were like skyrocketing at the same time,
Yep.
you know. But thank God I had the course because it actually, it actually took care of a lot of things that should have been, paid
Mm-hmm.
before, with her income as well. So it really helped a lot in that
Yeah,
sense.
that's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
Let's get into just a quick little number for comparison, okay? Or some
sure.
numbers really quickly. What would you say is like the biggest winning month so far since you've been in the course? Do you want to share that? Is that a little too personal? All good.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm actually in the middle of it.
Oh,
So,
nice. Okay.
so for example, in the last week, I sold 5 weddings,
Okay.
right? So in the
In the
last
last
week,
week. Damn. Okay.
last week. So that's close to 20. That's only some of those are joint packages.
Mm-hmm.
But just video specifically,
Yeah.
that's $25,000 in sales,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
From just a week, right?
Yep.
So like, of course, not every week is going to be
Yeah.
exactly like this. But that has been the biggest
That's
win.
amazing.
So since I started the program, if I'm allowed to say this, like
Yeah.
out of $5,000 in ad spend that we've had,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've had close to $70,000 in
Wow.
sales.
That's so
Yeah.
crazy. Oh, I'm terrible at math. Do you know what that percentage? I could do it. I mean, I guess. So
So it's about, I would say it's about 18.
return on
Yeah, it's
ads.
about 18, 17x. Yeah, which is
Wow.
incredible.
That's
Which is
incredible.
incredible. And
So
and this
mhm,
is only from leads that have come in from ads directly.
from ads, that's it.
Yeah.
So not
This
even,
doesn't include planner referrals that went to my website
yeah.
that now, because they see the changes in
Hmm.
branding, in who I
Exactly.
am and everything, that
Right.
also booked. It doesn't
Yeah,
include those couples either.
totally. That's incredible, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
And dude, that's so wild. So we try to strive for at least 10% on returns, and that's like a
Yeah.
standard. So if you're under 10% in returns, that's kind of a guarantee, at least, then
Yeah.
then something's wrong. But you're
Right.
closer to 20%, and
Right.
that's amazing. That's really great. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because that's what we kind of see for people that continue to show up, do the work, and progress through with their branding and stuff and keeping up with times and stuff. They're always
Right.
hovering around that 20%, just below or just above. So you're perfect. Perfect, dude.
Yeah.
Just
And
keep doing what you're doing.
actually, it would be hard. So my starting point
Hmm.
is not where a lot of videographers are out there. I have to
Okay.
be honest. Since I've been in the program, I've raised my starting price twice,
Yeah.
right?
Wow. Okay.
So I know that number now is
Yeah.
could easily get into the 20x,
Yeah.
return.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. And speaking about the future, well, speaking about like raising prices as you're going, I'm assuming you're going to raise prices again at some point. So let's talk about the future a little bit. What does it look like? So what does 1 year from now look like for you? What's the plan?
great questions.
Okay.
So because of because of the ads as well and the higher demand, before I was actually only booking weddings, like one wedding per day, right?
Okay.
Before I wasn't
Mm.
actually double booking and sending a crew, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the not the funny thing, but the unfortunate fortunate thing is that last August, about
Yep.
2 months before I joined the program, actually the day before a wedding, I fell from a ladder, right?
Oh shoot.
And yeah, and so I couldn't shoot the wedding the next day. So
Damn.
I had to send out the crew, right?
Okay.
And the crew, did amazing. The couple was incredibly happy with everything. And
Mhm.
because of that, also, now I trust people
Yep.
to go shoot right
Nice.
for me. So that also changed a lot. But now because of those leads that are coming in, now I can say, look, I'm personally booked, but I do have a second crew available. That's incredible. I trust them with my
Amazing.
life. And now I'm able to
Yep.
book multiple weddings for one day, right?
Nice,
So
dude.
so I think that this will continue to grow,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to stop running,
Yeah.
ads.
Sure.
So I mean, I hope to get to the point where I'm booking 10 weddings per month, right? That's my
Wow.
goal,
That's great.
you know.
Yeah.
So which I'm not too far from
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
I'm not too far from it. But some of those weddings, for example, may be, double bookings where
Yeah.
I have to send out a crew and then,
Yep.
obviously we edit everything, but
So I'm hearing
That's
maybe
what I hope to
growing the
do.
team and
Right.
shooting multiple
Yeah.
weddings, maybe per weekend, about 10
Yeah.
weddings per year, per month, sorry.
Yeah.
And then what about yourself? Do you think you would be in shooting as well, maybe at a higher premium for yourself directly?
I haven't directly thought of,
Yep.
having two price points where it's like
Okay, gotcha.
myself
Hmm.
or my second crew, because I think that sometimes by doing that we diminish our brand, right?
Yeah.
So we are committed to serving our couples with the exact same experience that they would have with me or with my second crew,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yep.
So that's the only reason why I don't want to do two different price points.
Hmm.
Um, and honestly, this might sound crazy, but I love shooting. Like
Yeah, totally.
I love being at a
Yeah, me
wedding,
too.
interacting with
Fun.
people, seeing the joy, seeing the tears. Like this to
Yeah.
me is like I'm experiencing life in a grand
Yes.
way, right? Every time I'm at
Yeah,
someone's wedding, and I love it. So
totally.
I don't want to stop shooting. I don't want to stop shooting.
Yeah, that's great. And a lot of us kind of get a little bit of burnout if we're not
Right,
charging enough and we're shooting too much and stuff. And so you got to find that happy medium to
for sure.
continue to make you feel that way, inspired, and have a good time and stuff. So that's great. So it sounds like
Completely.
you're implementing exactly what we teach, especially when it comes to testing. Because if we don't test things, we don't know what the result will be with certain things. So
Yeah.
you just mentioned that you will be you're not going to have a separate price point for the crew versus you. And so I
Right.
think that's a really great way to test to see what the model feels like, looks like, how it performs, maybe run it for maybe a year and then decide if, yeah, if
Hmm.
you want to take a step back, introduce a separate premium price for you, and then continue on with your crew
Yeah.
at a current rate or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But it's cool that you're taking small steps like that. And I see so many people just do these big, huge steps without filling in the gap in between and doing the work and
Hmm.
testing and seeing what does work. And then, because that'll give you direction on where to improve and which way to go and stuff. So,
Right.
awesome, dude. Yeah,
And
great, great.
it's funny sometimes where you want to test a new creative,
Yeah.
like even the ads are working incredible, but you're
Hmm.
like, wait a second, I know they're working incredible, but maybe if I test something else, it's
Yeah.
going to work even better.
Yeah.
And then Facebook is like, I don't think so. Like,
Yeah. Right.
this is doing great. Let
Yeah.
me just run with this type of thing,
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's a challenge
Yep.
where you want to test new things
Hmm.
sometimes, or
Hmm.
many times.
Yep.
Um, but then like how AI has changed and how the algorithm performs, that's
Hmm.
truly the basis to tell you what's working, and what's not. Of course, we still have to continue to test
Yeah.
and be like, listen, what about this? Or what about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
you know,
That's right. Yeah, and that makes me ask one more question before closing here, or a couple more
yeah,
questions. So,
no worries.
would you say the material that you learn is it hard to understand or pretty simple when it comes to building ads and stuff? Do you feel like it's pretty laid out and you got the support when needed if you have questions?
Yeah, for sure. It's very well put together. The course takes you through the exact
Yeah.
steps and process that you need to follow.
Yeah.
I also love that we have that community, that channel to reach out and
Mhm.
say, hey, look,
Yeah.
what about this? Or I didn't understand this, or is someone doing, something a bit different? Or,
Hmm.
there's a lot of people in the community, not just
Hmm.
for the referrals and to grow,
Yep.
with connections, but
Yep.
with things that we may not understand fully, or we just want to ask questions. But the course is very well presented.
Hmm.
It takes you through the exact process that you need to follow,
Hmm.
and it really takes you through your own self reflection. Like it really has this process
Hmm.
of self reflection before you go jump into the ocean. You need to learn how to swim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and if you don't, you're gonna drown. So
Yeah.
so that's why that phase one was incredibly important. Thank God I already knew a lot of the how to set up the account and things like
Hmm.
that. But when it comes to the nitty gritty of creating those ads creative, what is the text
Yeah.
that you need to use to appeal to your
Hmm.
uh, ideal couple?
Yep.
What does the creative look like?
Hmm.
What when they reach your website, what what journey are you going to take them
How do
on,
you funnel them and all that stuff? Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And of course, like I said before,
Yeah.
how to ask the right questions on the
Yeah.
calls. That's what I love about this course, that it wasn't just, hey, here's a screen recording of me
Yeah.
setting up ads. No,
Totally.
it's like everything that you need
Yep.
besides shooting, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the course
Yeah.
already,
Hmm.
um, those that join the course already are expected to know how to shoot, how to edit, how to, how to
Yeah.
be a professional videographer, a professional photographer. But
Hmm.
there's a whole other side of how to do things to grow in your business. And I
Hmm.
think this course really, really does an incredible job.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And then, yeah, so sales calls and stuff too. A lot of people get stuck
Hmm.
there with objections and how to handle them, how to overcome those
Yeah,
obstacles when someone says, I got to think about it. Or, ooh, we thought, we only have X amount of money for a
right.
photographer or a videographer. And so many people just drop the ball there and just feel like, okay, cool. Well, yeah, well, let me know. We're not like that. We're not
Yeah.
aggressive in the fact of like,
Hmm.
no, I'm the best, and you don't want to go with them. It's more of a conversation, right? And you just
Right.
figure things out and you offer solutions. That's all we're doing. That's it.
Right.
So we teach
Right.
you
And
how
also
to,
the follow-up process, right? Which is
yeah,
also an
totally.
art in itself that I'm still trying to master.
Yeah,
It's not an easy, process at all. You want to give people the space, of course, to make their decisions, to talk about things, but you also want to let them know, look, I'm here for you. I'm here to help you to have the best experience ever, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that whole process, it's also part of the course. How do you respond back?
Mhm.
How often do you reach back out? And that follow up also. I don't know who said it, but many times the sale is made in the follow up, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And that couldn't be further from the truth. That couldn't be like more true.
Yeah,
It's completely. I can't tell you how many weddings we booked just because I followed up,
because you
right?
follow up. Yeah,
Just
exactly.
because you follow up, even with couples that are like not responsive or things like that, like you
Hmm.
still need to let them know, hey, I'm here.
Sure.
People are busy, like you
People are
say all the
busy.
time. People are busy,
Yeah.
so you need to let them know, look, we're here. Let's
Yep.
create some magic together, and let's move forward.
Love it,
it's,
dude.
it's
Yep.
always, yeah.
Sweet. And then, okay, so what what would you say to
Alex,
your
see, give me 1 second because my wife needs the keys to the
yeah, go
car.
for it, go for it, go for it.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Awesome, man. Love it. So a couple more questions before we wrap up. And so what would you say to yourself, to your previous self before joining us?
Great question.
Like
What I would say is,
what advice would you give to yourself?
yeah, no, the advice that I would give to myself before is to obviously join earlier, the course. Because if I would have started this a year prior, right? Of course, today I would be where I would
Mm,
want to be a year
mm-hmm.
from now, right?
Yep.
So the sooner that you get started with the course, the sooner that you implement exactly everything that is taught with the course, the sooner you'll see
Yeah.
changes in your business.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So that would be the advice for sure that I
Nice.
would give.
And to those that are on the fence, that know of us, that have seen our ads for Full Time Wedding Pro, and they're debating if they should join us or something like that, what would you tell them?
I would tell people, stop thinking about it, join, because it will completely change the way that you do business, and the way that you get leads, the way that you respond, the way that that you do everything in your business in
Yeah,
terms of weddings.
nice.
It's truly been a life changing experience, and I think a lot of people just say that, but it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Because many times couples reach out to us, and they tell me like exactly what is on my website in terms of who my ideal client is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where like they literally describe my work
Yep.
exactly how I wish that they see it, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And many times it's hard to get people to see that, but because of that whole process of the branding, because of the process of creating those ads and everything, you truly appeal to the perfect couple that you want
Right.
to book,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
100%.
and it's the truth. And
Yep.
there's a lot of people out there, and I mean, I still see the ads, and I see comments, and people
Mm-hmm.
are some people are making fun of things, and it's if people knew, if people actually trusted for a day, right? If
Yeah.
they just went for a day, let's say just one day, it would make a massive difference in their
Yeah.
business. I'm not talking about going through the whole course, which of
Right.
course would completely transform their business. But if they just spent one day with the course, it would completely change the way that they do
That's
business.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
it's the truth. It really
It's
is.
it's true, man. A lot of people just
It is.
they it's it's not that they're like, oh, well, some people think it's a scam, 100%.
Right.
And you're not an AI bot or anything, right? No.
No.
Okay. Just making sure. So, a lot of people could think it's a scam or think they're not good enough or anything like that. But dude, I mean, I've been doing this for over 10 years, right? And there's still things that I work on, and it's
Sure.
because of the community and the course material that continues to come out and things that we continue to
Hmm.
test and refine. And also, check this out. I love that you pointed out with the power of the community, and it's how you met Bailey and how
Yeah.
her ads kind of perform for you as well at the same time. So that's the power of community itself. That
Right.
alone of over 400 people is huge because when it comes to testing things, which we always are testing things in our community, in
Hmm.
our program, you're not only testing things for yourself on your own, you have other
Hmm.
peers that are testing things too. So the process goes so much faster on figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and what are some solutions. So it's
Right.
pretty cool. The community alone is
Completely.
I think if people just
And
jumped
something
in for the community alone, dude, that would just change their business.
just
Alone.
even the calls, I mean, even the group
Yeah,
calls, where
group
you
calls.
can share your screen,
Yeah,
show your website, show you how your ads are
totally.
performing. Like even that, I like, thank God I haven't, needed it as much, to be on those calls,
Yep,
but I think it's a great resource for people that need kind of like that
yep.
not one-on-one, but that group call where, you're
Right.
allowed to ask your questions. You can say, should I do this or should I do that?
Yeah.
So those are also phenomenal.
That's awesome. Well, Abraham, dude, just want to thank you again for joining us. Super appreciate it. I'm really excited to see what happens in this next year for you. Yeah,
Appreciate that.
that's all we have, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
tuning
Alex.
in, and we'll have some more videos for you. All right, take care, guys.